Story 1. The last train to nowhere in particular. You are sitting by the window of a train. The train is moving slowly through the countryside. Outside, snow is falling. The snow falls gently, steadily, without wind. Each flake drifts down in its own time, landing softly on the fields that stretch away from the tracks. Your seat is covered in dark blue fabric. The fabric is slightly worn, soft against your legs. You can feel the gentle vibration of the train through the seat, a constant, rhythmic trembling that never changes. The window beside you is cool when you rest your forehead against it. Not cold, just cool. The glass fogs slightly from your breath, then clears, then fogs again. The compartment is warm. Not too warm, just warm enough. There is a small heater somewhere, humming its quiet hum. You cannot see it, but you can hear it, a low sound beneath the sound of the train wheels on the tracks. The wheels make their steady rhythm, clickety-clack, 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 over and over. The same sound, the same rhythm, the same gentle rocking motion. You are the only person in this compartment. There are other compartments on the train, you know this, but yours is empty except for you. The lights are dim. Small yellow lights in fixtures on the ceiling cast a soft glow that doesn't reach the corners. The corners remain in shadow, comfortable shadows, nothing hidden there, just darkness that feels like rest. Outside, the snow continues to fall. You watch it. The flakes are small tonight, not the large, fluffy ones that sometimes come, but small, determined flakes that float down in straight lines. They land on the window and melt almost immediately, leaving tiny trails of water that run down the glass. You watch one trail, then another, then another. They move slowly down the window, sometimes joining together, sometimes staying separate. The fields outside are covered in snow. You can see this even though it is night. The snow makes everything visible, reflecting what little light comes from the train and the sky. The fields are flat and empty. No houses, no trees, just fields stretching away into the darkness. Sometimes a fence post appears, dark against the white snow, and then it is gone, passed by, left behind in the night. The train is not going fast. It moves at a steady, unhurried pace. There is no need to rush. The train has been moving for a long time now, and it will continue moving for a long time still. You do not know where it is going. You do not need to know. You are simply here on the train watching the snow fall. Your hands rest in your lap. You can fold them together or let them lie separately on your thighs. Either way is comfortable. Your body is relaxed in the seat. The seat supports your back evenly, no pressure points, no discomfort. Just the gentle support of the cushion and the gentle vibration of the train. The snow outside is hypnotic. Each flake falls. Each flake lands. More flakes fall. More flakes land. The accumulation is so gradual that you cannot see it happening, but you know it is happening. The snow on the fields is getting deeper, flake by flake, moment by moment. But it happens so slowly that everything seems still, frozen in time, even as time continues to pass. There is a small table in front of your seat. It folds down from the wall. You have folded it down, and on it sits a cup. The cup is white ceramic, simple, no pattern. Inside the cup is tea. The tea is warm, not hot, just warm. You wrapped your hands around the cup earlier, feeling its warmth. Now you let it sit. The steam rises from it in a thin, wavering line. You watch the steam rise and disappear, rise and disappear, rise and disappear. The train continues its journey. The wheels continue their rhythm, Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. The sound is comforting in its consistency. It never speeds up. It never slows down. It simply is always there, always the same. Outside, you see a lone tree. It stands in the middle of a field, branches bare, coated with snow. The train passes it slowly. First, you see it in the distance, a dark shape. Then it is closer. Then it is beside the train. Then it is behind the train. Then it is gone. The field is empty again. Just snow and darkness and the steady falling of more snow. Your eyes are heavy. They have been heavy for a while. You let them close for a moment. Behind your closed eyelids, you can still sense the gentle light of the compartment. You can still hear the train wheels. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. You can still feel the vibration of the train. You open your eyes again. Nothing has changed. The snow still falls. The train still moves. Everything is as it was. You pick up the cup of tea. You bring it to your lips. You take a small sip. The tea is chamomile, you think, or perhaps just plain hot water with a hint of nothing in particular. It doesn't matter. It is warm and wet and soothing as it goes down your throat. You take another sip. Then you set the cup back on the table. The ceramic makes a soft sound as it touches the table, barely audible over the train. There are curtains on the window, pushed to the sides. They are made of the same dark blue fabric as the seats. You could pull them closed if you wanted. You could block out the view of the snow and the fields, but you don't. You leave them open. The view is peaceful. The darkness and the snow and the empty fields. There is something comforting about the emptiness, about the lack of anything that requires your attention. The train curves slightly. You feel the curve in your body, a gentle leaning to one side, then a straightening as the track straightens again. The curve is so gradual that it barely registers, just a small shift in the constant sensation of movement. Then the train is straight again, moving forward through the night, through the snow. You settle deeper into your seat. Your shoulders relax. Your neck relaxes. Your jaw relaxes. You are aware of these parts of your body releasing tension you didn't know they were holding. The seat seems to accept you, to mold itself around you, though of course it is you who are molding yourself to the seat. It doesn't matter. The result is the same: comfort, rest. The snow continues. It has been snowing for hours, perhaps. Or perhaps it just started. You cannot remember, and it doesn't matter. What matters is that it is snowing now, and you are watching it, and the train is moving, and everything is exactly as it should be. Outside, another fence post appears, and another and another. They mark the edge of a field, a boundary between one empty space and another. The posts are evenly spaced, appearing in regular intervals. You count them without meaning to: 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Then you stop counting. There is no need to count. They will keep appearing whether you count them or not. Your breathing is slow and steady. In and out, in and out. You are not thinking about your breathing. It is simply happening, your body doing what it needs to do without any effort from you. The air in the compartment is neither stale nor fresh, just neutral, just air. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. The same rhythm as the train wheels. Everything in rhythm together. The lights in the compartment flicker slightly. Not a dramatic flicker, just a tiny dimming and then a return to their previous state. It happens in a moment, so brief you almost don't notice it. Then the lights are steady again. The yellow glow continues, soft and warm and dim. You look down at your hands in your lap. They are still. They are relaxed. The fingers are slightly curved, not grasping anything, just resting. You can see the faint lines on your palms, the creases and valleys that have always been there. You study them for a moment, not thinking about what they might mean, just observing them. Then you look back at the window, at the snow. The train passes a small structure. Maybe it is a shed or a barn or some kind of equipment shelter. It is dark, unlit, abandoned, or simply closed for the night. The snow has covered its roof, making it seem soft, rounded. The train passes it, and it is gone, absorbed back into the darkness and the fields. Time is strange on the train. It seems to stretch and contract. Minutes might be hours. Hours might be minutes. There is no clock visible in the compartment, and you have not checked any device. You are existing outside of measured time, in a space where time is marked only by the passing of fence posts and occasional structures and the endless falling of snow. Your eyelids are heavy again. You let them close. You sit in the darkness behind your eyelids, feeling the train move, hearing the wheels, sensing the gentle vibration. You are still aware of everything, but it is distant, filtered through the soft barrier of your closed eyes. You could fall asleep here, you think. You could let yourself drift away entirely, but you are not quite ready. You open your eyes again. The snow is still falling. Of course it is. It has never stopped. Each flake is unique, you have heard, though you cannot see the individual shapes from here. They all look the same, small white specks descending through the dark air. But somewhere, in some way, each one is different. The thought is comforting, though you are not sure why. You reach for the cup of tea again. It is cooler now, but still warm enough. You take another sip. The liquid moves over your tongue, down your throat. You feel it travel into your body, carrying its warmth with it. You set the cup down again. You might finish it eventually, or you might not. It doesn't matter. The train's heater continues its quiet hum. You focus on the sound for a moment. It is constant, unwavering, a single note held indefinitely. Beneath it, the train wheels continue their rhythm. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, and beneath that, or perhaps above it, the silence of the falling snow. Snow makes no sound as it falls, you know this. But there is something about watching it that suggests silence, that creates a sense of profound quiet. Outside, the landscape is unchanging. More fields, more snow. Occasionally a fence, occasionally a lone tree, occasionally a dark shape that might be a building or might be a hill or might be nothing but shadow. It all passes by at the same steady pace, appearing out of the darkness ahead, sliding past the window, disappearing into the darkness behind. You shift slightly in your seat, adjusting your position by small increments. Your leg was beginning to feel something, not quite discomfort, but the potential for discomfort. You shift and the feeling goes away. You settle again. The seat accepts you in this new position just as it accepted you in the old one. The compartment smells of nothing in particular. Perhaps a faint scent of the fabric of the seats, or the metal and plastic of the train itself, or the tea in your cup. But mostly it smells of nothing, of neutral air, of a space that is neither outside nor quite inside, but somewhere in between. You think about the other compartments on the train. Are there people in them? Are they asleep? Are they watching the snow as you are? You do not know, and you will not find out. You are here in this compartment, and that is all you need to be concerned with. The rest of the train exists, but it exists somewhere else, somewhere you are not. The train rocks gently from side to side. It is a subtle motion, barely perceptible, but it is there. Left, then right, then left, then right. Like being rocked in a cradle, like being on a boat on calm water. The motion is soothing. Your body sways with it, slightly, unconsciously, matching the rhythm of the train. Outside, the snow has created a uniform blanket over everything. The fields are no longer brown or green or whatever color they might be during the day. They are simply white. The fences are white. The occasional structure is white. Even the darkness seems softer somehow, muted by the presence of the snow. You notice your reflection in the window. It is faint, ghostly, superimposed over the view of the snow and fields. You can see your own face, dim and transparent, looking back at you. Behind your reflection, the snow falls through you, as if the flakes are passing through your transparent body. You watch this for a moment, this double image, this layering of inside and outside. Then you focus on the outside again, letting your reflection fade back into something you sense but do not see. The train continues. It has been continuing. It will continue. This is what trains do. They move along tracks from one place to another, carrying their passengers through the landscape, through time, through the night. You are a passenger. You are being carried. You do not have to do anything but sit here and watch and feel and breathe. Your hands are warm now. The compartment's warmth has reached them fully. Earlier, they might have been cool, but now they are warm. You press your palms together gently, feeling the warmth of one hand against the other. Then you separate them again, letting them rest in your lap. The tea in your cup has stopped steaming. The surface of the liquid is still, barely moving despite the train's gentle rocking. You look into the cup. The tea is amber-colored, translucent, clear. You can see the bottom of the cup through the liquid. There is nothing mysterious about it, nothing hidden. Just tea in a cup, growing gradually cooler. Outside, you see what might be a road running parallel to the tracks. It is covered in snow, unplowed, no tire tracks visible. It is just a flat white strip between fences or hedges or perhaps just between fields. The train follows it for a while, train and road running side by side through the night. Then the road curves away, disappearing into the distance, and the train continues straight. The wheels on the tracks never stop their song. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. It is a lullaby, you think. A mechanical lullaby, sung by steel and wood and motion. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. The same two syllables, repeated infinitely until they lose all meaning, until they are just sound, just rhythm, just a heartbeat that is not your own but that you feel in your body anyway. You lean your head against the window again. The coolness of the glass against your forehead is pleasant. You can feel the tiny vibration of the train more clearly here, transmitted through the glass directly into your skull. It is not unpleasant. It is another sensation, another small thing to notice and then let go of. The snow has accumulated on the bottom edge of the window, outside. You can see it there, a small drift of white against the glass. The flakes land and stick, building up slowly, gradually. The window is protected somewhat by the overhang of the train's roof, so the snow does not cover the glass entirely. But this small accumulation at the bottom edge continues to grow, so slowly that you cannot see it growing, but you know it is. Inside the compartment, everything is still. The air does not move. You do not move, except for the slight swaying that matches the train's motion. The shadows in the corners do not move. Only outside is there movement, the falling of the snow, the passing of the landscape. But even these movements are so smooth, so constant, that they seem almost like stillness. You become aware of your breath again, not controlling it, just aware of it. The cool air entering your nostrils. The slight pause at the top of the inhale, the warm air leaving. The slight pause at the bottom of the exhale, then again and again. Your breath and the train's rhythm are not synchronized, but they coexist, two rhythms happening simultaneously, neither interfering with the other. Outside, a lone light appears in the distance. It is small, yellow, warm. Perhaps it is a farmhouse window. Perhaps it is a lamp post. Perhaps it is something else entirely. It remains stationary as the train moves toward it, grows slightly larger, slightly brighter, and then passes by and begins to recede. You turn your head to keep watching it as the train continues. The light grows smaller, dimmer, and then it is gone, swallowed by the darkness and distance. The train does not stop at stations. Not tonight. It simply continues through the countryside, on and on, through the falling snow. Perhaps there are no stations on this line. Perhaps the stations are all closed. Perhaps the train is not stopping tonight, not for any reason. It doesn't matter. You are not waiting for a station. You are simply riding, simply being carried through the night. Your body feels heavy in the seat. Not unpleasantly heavy, just weighted, settled, committed to being exactly where it is. Your legs are heavy. Your arms are heavy. Your head feels heavy, though it is supported by your neck without effort. This heaviness is not fatigue exactly. It is more like a deep relaxation, a letting go of any tension that might have been holding you upright through sheer will. Now there is no will, just the support of the seat and the gentle rocking of the train. The snow outside continues in its patient accumulation. The fields are getting deeper in snow, though you cannot see this happening. It is too gradual, but you know it is true. With each moment, each flake that lands, the snow is deeper than it was before. Soon the fields will be very deep in snow, but not yet. Now they are just covered, just white, just peaceful. You look along the length of the compartment. The seats are arranged in pairs, facing each other, with a small aisle between them. Most of the seats are empty. In the dim yellow light, they look inviting, as if you could move to any of them and find the same comfort you have found here. But you do not move. You are content where you are, by the window, watching the snow. There are small details in the compartment that you notice now. A tiny brass coat hook on the wall, a seam in the wallpaper, barely visible, a small scuff mark on the floor. These details do not matter, but you notice them anyway. They are part of the space you are in, part of the experience of being here, on this train, in this moment. The train curves again, another gentle curve to the left. You feel the centrifugal force, gentle, pushing you slightly against the window. Then the track straightens and the force dissipates and you are sitting upright again. The curve brought a new view, but it is the same as the old view. Snow, fields, darkness. The same and yet not the same, because you are in a new location now, seeing different fields, different snow, though they look identical to the fields and snow you saw before. Your eyelids droop. You let them. They close most of the way, leaving just a small gap through which you can see the window, the snow, the darkness. Your vision blurs slightly. The snow becomes less distinct, less individual flakes, and more a general sense of whiteness in motion. It is easier to watch this way, less effort, less focus required. The train's whistle sounds in the distance. Not close, but somewhere else on the train, at the front perhaps. It is a low, mournful sound, long and drawn out. It echoes across the fields, absorbed by the falling snow. Then it fades, and there is only the rhythm of the wheels again. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, that eternal rhythm, that heartbeat of the train. You open your eyes fully again. The snow is still there, still falling. You are not surprised, you knew it would be. The consistency is comforting. Nothing has changed. Nothing will change. The train will move, the snow will fall, the night will continue, and you will sit here, watching, resting, being. Outside, you see what might be a frozen pond. It is a smooth, flat area surrounded by the rough texture of the snowy fields. The snow is falling on it, landing on the ice beneath, though you cannot see the ice. You just know it is there under the snow. A pond, frozen solid, waiting for spring. The train passes it and it is gone. The tea in your cup is probably cool now. You pick it up to check. Yes, cool. Not cold, but no longer warm. You drink it anyway. The liquid slides down your throat, neutral in temperature, neither giving warmth nor taking it away. You finish what is left in the cup, tilting it to get the last few drops. Then you set the empty cup back on the table. Your fingers are interlaced now, resting in your lap. You notice this without having consciously interlaced them. Your hands did this on their own, finding a comfortable position. The fingers fit together, each one nestled between two others, creating a complex weave of flesh and bone. You let them stay that way. The train passes a bridge, or rather, the train goes over a bridge. You sense this more than see it. The sound changes slightly. The rhythm of the wheels alters just a bit, becoming a different pitch for a few moments. Then it returns to normal. You passed over something, some small stream or ditch or depression in the land. Now you are on solid ground again, or at least on tracks that rest on solid ground. The snow is getting thicker, you think. The flakes are still small, but there seem to be more of them, falling more densely. The view out the window is more white than black now, a curtain of white between you and the distant darkness. But the train continues at the same steady pace, unaffected by the increasing snow. You shift your gaze to look up through the top of the window. You can see the snow falling from above, appearing out of the black sky, becoming visible in the light that spills from the train, then landing on the ground or on the train itself, or continuing past the window and disappearing below your field of view. The snow comes from somewhere beyond sight, from the sky, from the clouds, from some source that is infinite and inexhaustible. Your breathing has slowed. You notice this in a distant way. Each breath takes longer than before. The pause between breaths is longer, but you are not struggling for air, not gasping or panting. Your body has simply decided that it needs less air or needs it less frequently, and your lungs are obeying this decision without consulting you. The compartment seems dimmer than before. Perhaps your eyes are tired. Perhaps the lights have dimmed slightly. Or perhaps it is simply the contrast with the snow outside making the interior seem darker. Whatever the reason, the yellow glow is softer now, more like candlelight than electric light. Outside, all the distinct features of the landscape have blurred together. The snow has created a uniformity, a sameness. There are no longer individual fence posts or trees or structures. There is just the white of the snow-covered ground and the black of the sky and the white of the falling snow between them. Simple, clean, uncluttered. The train rocks gently, left and right, left and right. Your body has fully synchronized with this motion now. You are part of the train, swaying with it, moving with it, no longer a separate thing inside the train, but an integral part of the whole moving system. You and the seat and the train and the tracks and the snow are all one thing, all moving together through the night. Your head feels very heavy now. It wants to rest against something. You lean it against the window again. The cool glass accepts the weight of your head. You can see the snow from this angle, falling past the window, each flake briefly visible before it is gone. They fall so fast, and yet the train is moving faster, so the flakes seem to move backward as you pass them, an illusion of motion within motion. The wheels on the tracks continue their song. You have heard it for so long now that it is part of the background, part of the essential sound of existence. It would seem strange if it stopped. It would seem wrong. But it will not stop. Not tonight, not while you are here. The wheels will keep turning, the rhythm will keep sounding, the train will keep moving. You close your eyes again. This time you do not open them right away. You sit in the darkness behind your closed lids, feeling the train, hearing the train, sensing the train in every part of your body. The vibration travels through the seat, into your legs, up your spine, into your head. You are a tuning fork, resonating with the frequency of the train. Time passes. You do not know how much time. It could be a minute or an hour. You exist in a space outside of time now, where moments have no measure, where the passage of seconds and minutes and hours is meaningless. There is only the eternal now, the continuous present moment that keeps being present over and over forever. You open your eyes. The snow is still falling. The train is still moving. Nothing has changed, and yet everything has changed because you are not the same person who closed your eyes. Or perhaps you are exactly the same person. It is hard to tell. It is hard to care about the distinction. Outside, the landscape might be changing. Perhaps the fields are giving way to gentle hills. Perhaps the hills are giving way to a valley. Or perhaps everything is the same as it has always been and will always be, just flat fields under falling snow. You cannot tell. The darkness and the snow hide everything, reveal nothing. The empty teacup sits on the table. You look at it. White ceramic, simple form, empty. It served its purpose. It held tea, and you drank the tea, and now it is empty. It will remain empty unless you fill it again, which you probably will not do. It is content to be empty, you think. Objects do not mind their states. They simply exist in whatever state they are in. Your hands have separated. They rest on your thighs now, palms down, fingers slightly spread. You can feel the fabric of your clothing under your palms. It is soft, worn, comfortable. Everything about this moment is comfortable. There is no discomfort anywhere in your body, no pain, no tension, no desire for anything to be different than it is. The train whistle sounds again. It seems closer this time, or perhaps you are simply more aware of it. The sound is lonely, you think, though that is a human interpretation. The whistle is just a whistle, producing sound waves that travel through the air. It does not feel loneliness, but the sound has that quality, that sense of something calling out into the void, expecting no answer, receiving none. Outside, a shape appears in the distance. At first, it is just a darker darkness, a shadow against the snow. As the train approaches, it becomes clearer. It is another structure, perhaps a barn or a large shed. It sits alone in the field, no other buildings near it, no lights, no signs of life. The train passes it. You turn your head to watch it recede, becoming smaller, darker, less distinct, until it is absorbed back into the night and the snow. The heater continues its hum. The lights continue their glow. The wheels continue their rhythm. Everything continues, constant, unchanging, reliable. This is the nature of the train of this journey. It is an extended moment, stretched out in time and space, but fundamentally the same moment, repeated infinitely. You notice that you are smiling slightly. Not a large smile, just a small upturn of the corners of your mouth. You are not smiling at anything in particular. You are simply smiling because it feels natural to smile, because something about this moment, this experience, this journey through the snow makes smiling seem appropriate. Your eyelids are very heavy now. They want to close and stay closed. You let them close. Behind your closed eyes, you can still see in a way. You can see the afterimage of the window, the snow, the darkness. These images fade slowly, becoming dimmer, less distinct, until they are replaced by the natural darkness of closed eyes, the neutral void that is neither dark nor light but simply nothing. The train rocks. The wheels sound. The heater hums. You breathe in and out, slowly, steadily. Each breath coming after the last, each breath followed by another, an endless chain of breaths that sustains you, keeps you present, keeps you alive. Outside, the snow continues to fall. You know this even though you cannot see it. The snow does not need to be observed to fall. It falls regardless of whether anyone is watching. It falls on the fields and the fences and the structures and the train itself. It falls on everything equally, without preference, without discrimination. The compartment is quiet except for the sounds of the train. No one speaks. There is no one to speak. You are alone, and the train is alone, moving through a landscape that seems empty of all other life. But the aloneness is not lonely. It is peaceful. It is exactly what this moment calls for. You are very relaxed now. Your body has let go of everything it was holding. Your muscles are loose, draped over your bones like clothing on a hanger. Your mind is quiet, empty of thoughts, or full of thoughts that move through it so quickly and quietly that they do not register as thoughts at all. The train continues through the night, through the snow, through the countryside. It moves from one place toward another place, though the places have no names, no identities. They are simply points on a line, connected by tracks, connected by motion, connected by this train carrying you through the darkness. Your breath is very shallow now, very slow. Each inhale brings just enough air. Each exhale releases just enough breath. Your body has found the minimum rhythm necessary for sustaining itself, and it is content with that rhythm, seeing no need for anything more. The snow outside falls on and on. The train inside moves on and on. The night around everything continues on and on. There is no end in sight, no destination looming, no conclusion approaching. There is just the journey, the continuous movement through space and time, the eternal present moment of being on this train, watching this snow, feeling this peace. You are barely awake now, hovering in that space between waking and sleeping, where both states exist simultaneously, where you are aware but not fully conscious, present but not entirely here. The train carries you through this space as it carries you through the physical space of the countryside. You are being transported, delivered, moved from one state to another without any effort on your part. The wheels turn, the snow falls. The night continues, and you rest, cradled by the train, rocked by its motion, soothed by its rhythm, carried forward through the gentle snow, through the quiet darkness, through the peaceful night, onward, onward, onward into the soft and endless journey that has no end. Story 2. The Sleeping Car. You are lying in a narrow bed. The bed is in a small compartment on a train. The train is moving through the night, through winter, through snow that you cannot see but know is there. The bed is just wide enough for you. The mattress is firm but not hard, covered with crisp white sheets and a heavy wool blanket that weighs pleasantly on your body. Above you, there is a small reading light mounted to the wall. You have turned it to its dimmest setting. It casts a warm amber glow on the wooden paneling that lines the compartment. The wood is dark, polished, smooth. You can see the grain in it, swirling patterns that your eyes follow without thinking. The pillow beneath your head is soft. Your head sinks into it slightly, cradled by the feathers inside. The pillowcase is cool against your cheek. You have positioned yourself on your side, facing the window. Through the window, you can see darkness and occasionally the suggestion of shapes passing by. Trees, perhaps, buildings, perhaps. It is too dark to be certain. The train rocks gently as it moves. The rocking is rhythmic, a side-to-side motion that repeats endlessly. Your body moves with the train, swaying slightly in the bed. The sensation is like being rocked in someone's arms, like being on a boat on calm water. Left, then right, then left, then right. The rhythm never changes. From somewhere beneath you, you can hear the wheels on the tracks. The sound is muffled by the floor and the mattress and the layers between you and the wheels, but it is there. A low, steady rumble, punctuated by regular clicks as the wheels pass over the joints in the rails. Rumble click, rumble click, rumble click. The sound is constant, reliable, soothing. The compartment is small. From the bed, you can see almost everything in it. There is a small fold-down sink in one corner, currently folded up against the wall. Above it, a mirror reflects the amber light. There is a narrow closet where your coat hangs, a dark shape in the shadows. There is a small shelf with a raised edge to keep things from sliding off when the train rocks. On the shelf sits a glass of water. The water moves slightly with the train's motion, tiny ripples crossing its surface, catching the light. You watch the water for a while. The ripples appear and disappear, a miniature ocean contained in a glass. The glass itself is thick, sturdy, designed to withstand the motion of the train. Your body is warm under the wool blanket. The blanket is heavy and thick, weighing several pounds. It pins you gently to the mattress, creating a cocoon of warmth. Your legs are stretched out, relaxed. Your arms rest at your sides, outside the blanket but under a thin top sheet. The combination of weight and warmth is deeply comforting. The train's heating system hums quietly. It is a low sound, felt as much as heard, a vibration that comes through the walls. The compartment is warm but not too warm. The air is dry, the way air becomes in heated spaces in winter. You can feel it in your throat when you swallow. Later, you might reach for the water on the shelf. But not yet. For now, you are simply lying here, warm and still. Outside the window, you see a light pass by. It is there for just a moment, a yellow glow in the darkness, and then it is gone. Perhaps it was a house with a lamp burning in a window. Perhaps it was a street light. Perhaps it was something else entirely. You will never know, and that is fine. The light appeared, the light disappeared, the train continued. The mattress beneath you has compressed slightly under your weight, forming a shallow depression that fits your body. You are aware of the points of contact. Your shoulder against the mattress, your hip, your knee, your ankle. These points bear your weight, distributing it, supporting you. The mattress supports you without effort, without complaint, simply doing what mattresses do. Your breathing is slow and deep. Each breath fills your lungs completely, then empties them completely. You are not thinking about breathing, not controlling it consciously. Your body is breathing on its own, finding the rhythm it needs. In through your nose, out through your mouth. The air moving in is cool. The air moving out is warm. This exchange continues, will continue, requires nothing from you but permission to happen. The window beside the bed is dark. You can see your own reflection in it, faint and ghostly. Your face appears as a pale oval, features indistinct in the dim light. Behind your reflection, or through it, the darkness outside continues. Sometimes there is a suggestion of change in the darkness, a lighter patch or a darker patch, but mostly it is uniform, a void that the train moves through. Above the window, there is a small curtain on a rail. The curtain is dark blue fabric, thick enough to block light. You could pull it closed, shutting out even the faint view of the darkness outside. But you leave it open. There is something peaceful about lying here, looking at the darkness, being carried through the night while you rest. The train's motion is complex. There is the side-to-side rocking, but there is also a forward surging, a gentle push and release as the engine pulls the cars along. And there is a vertical component, a rising and falling as the train follows the contours of the land, going up slight inclines and down slight declines. All these motions combine into a single sensation, the sensation of being on a train, of being transported. Your eyes are heavy. They have been heavy for a while. You let them close halfway, not fully, just enough that your vision blurs and the amber light becomes a soft glow without defined edges. The world becomes less distinct, less detailed. It becomes shapes and shadows and light. This is easier to look at, requires less attention, less focus. The wool blanket smells faintly of wool and of soap. The soap used to clean it. The smell is clean and simple and slightly animal, the way wool smells when it remembers being part of a sheep. You notice this smell without thinking about it, just registering it as one of the details of this moment, this place, this experience. Your feet are warm at the bottom of the bed. Earlier, they were cool, but the blanket's warmth has reached them now, has spread to every part of your body. Your toes are relaxed, not curled or flexed, just lying naturally, touching each other slightly, existing without tension. The train continues through the night. It has been moving for hours. It will continue moving for hours more. You know this without knowing your destination, without knowing where you started from. The journey is what matters now, not the beginning or the end, just this middle part, this long, slow passage through the dark and the cold. On the wall beside the bed, there are small hooks for hanging things. One hook holds a towel. The towel is white and folded neatly. It sways slightly with the train's motion, a gentle back and forth movement that matches the rocking you feel in your body. Everything in the compartment moves together, synchronized by the train's rhythm. You shift your position slightly. Your shoulder was beginning to feel pressed against the mattress for too long. You roll forward slightly, adjusting the angle, and the pressure dissipates. The new position is immediately comfortable. Your body settles into it, accepting it, relaxing again. The amber light creates shadows in the corners of the compartment. The shadows are not dark or threatening. They are just places where the light does not reach, neutral spaces, empty spaces, restful spaces. Your eyes move to these shadows occasionally, then away, finding nothing there, expecting nothing, simply acknowledging their presence. Outside, the train passes through what might be a station. You sense this rather than see it clearly. There is a change in the ambient light, a brief brightening, and perhaps a platform sliding by the window, though it is gone too quickly to be certain. The train does not stop. It continues at the same steady speed, pulling its cargo of sleeping cars and sleeping passengers through the night. Your hands rest on top of the thin sheet. You can see them in the amber light, familiar hands, your hands, relaxed and still. The fingers are slightly curved, naturally curved, not holding anything, not reaching for anything. Just hands, resting, being hands. The rumble of the wheels continues beneath you. You have been hearing it for so long that it has become part of the baseline of existence, part of the fundamental sound of the world. It would seem wrong if it stopped. It would wake you from whatever state you are in, this state between waking and sleeping, this liminal space where both conditions exist at once. The train's heating system cycles. You hear it change slightly, the hum increasing for a moment, then decreasing again. The temperature in the compartment remains constant. The heating system is maintaining equilibrium, adding warmth when needed, resting when not needed, working invisibly to keep you comfortable. Your neck is supported by the pillow at just the right angle. Not too high, not too low, not bent awkwardly to either side. Your spine can relax completely, trusting the pillow, trusting the mattress, trusting that your body will be held safely while you rest. This trust is complete, automatic, requiring no thought. Outside the window, snowflakes appear. You notice them suddenly, white flecks moving past the glass, illuminated briefly by some light source on the train, then disappearing back into darkness. The snow is falling, has been falling, will continue falling. The train moves through it, cutting through the curtain of white, carrying you forward. The wooden paneling on the walls has a subtle scent. Old wood, polished wood, wood that has absorbed years of train travel, years of different passengers in different seasons. The scent is faint, almost not there, but when you breathe deeply, you can detect it, a warmth in the air, a sense of history. Your eyelids droop further. The effort of keeping them even partially open is becoming too much. You let them close completely. The amber light becomes a glow behind your closed lids, warm and reddish. You can still sense it there, still know where you are, still feel the train moving. But now the world is filtered through the darkness of closed eyes. The blanket's weight is evenly distributed across your body. It covers you from your shoulders to your feet, heavy and constant. Under this weight, your muscles relax more deeply. There is no need to hold yourself in any particular position, no need to maintain any tension. The weight of the blanket does the work of holding you together, keeping you still. The train sways, you sway with it. The motion is so familiar now that it feels natural, feels like the normal state of being. It is hard to remember what it felt like to be still, to be in a place that did not rock and sway and move. This motion is everything now, is the definition of existing in this moment. Your breathing has become very slow. Each breath takes a long time. The inhale is slow and deep, filling your lungs gradually from bottom to top. The pause at the top of the inhale stretches out, a moment of fullness, of holding. Then the exhale begins, slow and complete, emptying your lungs gradually from top to bottom. Then another pause, a moment of emptiness, before the cycle begins again. The water in the glass on the shelf continues its tiny movements. The surface catches the light, throws small reflections onto the wooden wall beside it. These reflections move with the water, dancing slightly, never still. You watch them with your eyes closed or remember watching them, the memory and the reality blending together. The train goes around a curve. The sensation is subtle but distinct. The rocking changes slightly, becomes more pronounced on one side. You feel yourself pressing slightly into the mattress on one side, then the train straightens and the feeling equalizes. The curve has been negotiated, left behind, forgotten. In the distance, through the walls and the windows and the night, you hear the train's whistle. It is a long, low sound, mournful and beautiful. The sound travels through the cold air, announcing the train's presence to the empty countryside, to the sleeping towns, to the night itself. Then the sound fades, absorbed by distance and snow and darkness. Your body is very heavy now. Each limb weighs more than it should, more than it does during the day. This heaviness is pleasant, grounding, anchoring you to the bed and the train and the moment. You are weighted down, held down, kept safe by gravity and the blanket and the gentle motion of the train. The compartment's air is still. Nothing moves except the tiny dust motes that drift in the amber light, invisible except when they catch the light just right, then visible for a moment as tiny floating specks. They drift slowly, randomly, following currents of air too subtle to feel, too gentle to disturb anything. Outside, the landscape is passing. Fields, forests, small towns, all covered in snow, all dark, all sleeping. The train passes through all of it, touching none of it, leaving no trace. In the morning, when people wake in those towns and fields, they will not know a train passed in the night. The snow will be smooth and undisturbed except for the tracks themselves, twin lines of steel disappearing into the distance. Your mind is quiet. Thoughts come occasionally, small thoughts, simple thoughts, but they do not stay. They drift through like the dust motes, visible for a moment, then gone. You are not thinking about anything in particular. You are not planning or remembering or analyzing. You are simply being, existing, lying in a bed on a moving train. The mattress beneath you has fully conformed to your shape now. Every part of your body is supported, no pressure points, no discomfort. The mattress knows your weight, your curves, your position. It holds you perfectly, asking nothing, giving everything. The train's wheels sing their song. Under the rumble, there is a melody, a rhythm with variations. Some joints in the rails are louder than others. Some sections of track are smoother than others. The sound changes constantly while remaining essentially the same. It is a song you could listen to forever, a song that has no beginning and no end. Your hands are completely relaxed now. The fingers have uncurled slightly, lying almost flat, touching the sheet lightly. There is no tension in the hands, no holding, no gripping. They are just hands, resting, warm, still, existing without purpose or effort. The amber light seems dimmer than before, or perhaps your eyes are adjusting, or perhaps you are seeing it through increasingly heavy lids. The light is soft, forgiving, gentle. It does not intrude or demand attention. It simply exists, providing just enough illumination to define the space, to prevent complete darkness. Outside, the snow continues. You cannot see it anymore with your eyes closed, but you know it is there. The flakes are falling on the train's roof, on its windows, on the countryside it passes through. The accumulation is slow but steady, flake by flake, moment by moment, building depth on depth on depth. The train rocks, the wheels rumble, the heating system hums, your breath moves in and out. These rhythms overlap, interfere, create complex patterns of sound and sensation. But beneath the complexity is simplicity, motion, warmth, breath, rest. Your body temperature has stabilized. You are neither hot nor cold, just warm, just right. The blanket and the air and your own metabolism have achieved perfect balance. You could stay at this temperature forever, neither gaining warmth nor losing it, suspended in thermal equilibrium. The pillow beneath your head has compressed to match the weight of your head exactly. There is no pressure on your ears, no uncomfortable bunching of fabric. Your head rests as if floating, supported but not pressed, held but not constrained. Outside, a cluster of lights appears in the distance. They grow larger as the train approaches. Perhaps it is a town, larger than the isolated farmhouses that sometimes appear. The lights are yellow and white, windows and street lamps, signs of human habitation. The train skirts the edge of the town, not entering it, not stopping, just passing by at a respectful distance. The lights slide past the window, one by one, and then the darkness returns. Your jaw is relaxed. Your teeth are slightly apart, not touching, not clenched. Your tongue rests in your mouth, soft and still. Your throat is open, easy, allowing breath to pass without obstruction. Everything in your head and neck is loose, released, at rest. The train continues its journey. Minutes pass, or hours, or some measure of time that has no name. The movement is constant. The motion is eternal. You are being carried forward through space and time, delivered to some destination that you do not need to think about, that you cannot worry about, that will arrive when it arrives. The wool blanket's weave is visible if you open your eyes and look closely, which you do not do. But you know it is there, the pattern of fibers crossing over and under each other, creating strength through repetition, creating warmth through layers, creating comfort through weight. Your legs are completely still. They do not move, do not shift, do not seek a new position. They have found their place in the bed and they are content there. The muscles in your legs are soft, not engaged, not ready to move, just resting, just being muscle and bone and warmth under a blanket. The train's forward motion is smooth but not perfectly smooth. There are tiny variations, micro-accelerations and micro-decelerations as the engine pulls and the cars follow, as the grade changes, as the engineer makes minute adjustments. These variations are too small to notice consciously, but your body registers them, responds to them, stays balanced despite them. Outside, the world is covered in winter. Snow and ice and cold air, frozen water and sleeping earth, dormant plants and quiet animals. The train moves through this winter world without being part of it, creating its own warm bubble of movement and light and life, carrying you through the frozen night. Your chest rises and falls with your breathing. The motion is gentle, almost imperceptible. The wool blanket moves with your chest, rising and falling, rising and falling. The rhythm is hypnotic, calming, evidence of life continuing without effort or thought. The amber light has become part of the darkness now, or the darkness has become part of the light. With your eyes closed, there is no distinction, just a general sense of not complete darkness, of warm shadow, of restful dimness. This is the perfect level of light for sleep, for rest, for the slow drift into unconsciousness. The train rocks. The wheels turn. The night continues. And you rest in your narrow bed, in your small compartment, warm and still and safe, carried forward through the winter darkness, through the falling snow, through the endless night, onward and onward, deeper and deeper into rest, into sleep, into the gentle dreams that come when you travel by night train through winter, through snow, through the quiet hours when the whole world seems to sleep. Story 3. The observation car at midnight. You are sitting in a large armchair. The armchair is in the observation car at the very back of the train. The car is almost empty. There are other chairs here, arranged in pairs and singles, all facing the large windows that curve up and over, creating a dome of glass. But the other chairs are vacant. You are alone, or nearly alone, in this quiet space at the end of the train. The chair is upholstered in deep red velvet. The fabric is soft under your hands. You can run your palm across it, feeling the pile of the velvet shift direction, creating lighter and darker patches. The chair is wide and deep. You are sitting back in it, fully supported, your spine against the curved back, your legs stretched out slightly in front of you. Through the large windows, you can see the track behind the train. Two silver rails stretch away into the darkness, parallel lines that meet at a vanishing point far in the distance. The rails catch the light from the train, reflecting it back, glowing faintly in the night. Between the rails, the wooden ties are visible, dark rectangles appearing one after another, regularly spaced, disappearing under the train and reappearing behind it in an endless chain. Snow is falling. You can see it best when you look at the rails, the white flakes appearing in the cone of light cast by the train's rear lights, falling onto the tracks, onto the ties, onto the ground beside the tracks. The flakes fall straight down. There is no wind to push them sideways. They simply fall, pulled by gravity, landing softly on everything below. The observation car is dimly lit. There are small lamps placed around the space, on small tables between chairs, casting pools of warm yellow light. But much of the car is in shadow. The ceiling curves overhead, glass panels alternating with dark metal frames. Through the glass, you can see the night sky when you look up. Stars are visible, distant, and cold, though the lights from inside make them harder to see than they would be in complete darkness. The floor beneath your feet is carpeted. The carpet is thick, soft, colored a deep burgundy that matches the chairs. It absorbs sound, contributes to the quietness of the space. Your feet rest flat on the carpet. You are wearing soft shoes, comfortable shoes, shoes meant for walking slowly or sitting for long periods. The train moves at a steady pace. You can feel the motion through the chair, through the floor, through the whole structure of the observation car. It is a gentle forward motion, smooth and constant. There is also the familiar side-to-side rocking, the swaying that all trains have, but here at the back of the train, the motion is slightly different than it would be in the middle cars. There is more sway, more movement, as if the observation car is following the motions of all the cars ahead of it, amplifying them slightly. On the small table next to your chair, there is a cup. The cup contains hot chocolate. The chocolate is dark and rich. Steam rises from it in a thin, wavering line. You brought the cup with you when you came to the observation car. That was some time ago. The chocolate is cooler now than it was, but still warm enough to drink, still producing that thin line of steam. You reach for the cup. Your fingers wrap around it. The ceramic is warm against your skin. You lift the cup and bring it to your lips. You take a small sip. The chocolate is sweet and smooth, coating your tongue, warming your throat as it goes down. You can taste the richness of it, the slight bitterness of real cocoa beneath the sweetness. You take another sip, then return the cup to the table. Behind the train, the landscape is dark. You can see the general shapes of things when they pass through the light cast by the train's rear lamps. Trees, sometimes, their trunks visible for a moment before the train pulls away and they fade back into darkness. Open fields, visible only as emptiness, as absence of trees or structures. Occasionally a building, a barn or shed, appearing briefly and then gone. The rails continue to stretch away behind you. They are hypnotic to watch, these two lines that never quite meet, that maintain their exact distance from each other no matter how far into the distance they extend. The train has traveled over these rails, and they remain behind, waiting for the next train or waiting for nothing, just existing as rails exist, parallel and purposeful. The observation car's windows are slightly fogged at the edges. The warmth inside meets the cold glass and creates condensation in a thin band around the perimeter of each window panel. But the center of each panel remains clear. You can see through them without obstruction, watch the rails and the snow and the darkness passing behind the train. There is music playing in the observation car. It is very quiet, barely audible, coming from speakers hidden somewhere in the ceiling or walls. The music is instrumental, piano and strings, playing something slow and melodic. The melody is simple, repeating with slight variations. It is the kind of music designed to fade into the background, to be felt more than heard, to add to the atmosphere without demanding attention. You settle deeper into the armchair. The velvet compresses beneath you, adjusting to your weight, your shape. The chair has arms, wide padded arms, and you rest your arms on them, your hands hanging slightly over the edges, relaxed and loose. The chair supports you completely. You do not need to hold yourself upright. You can simply sink into the chair and let it do all the work. The train's wheels make their sound beneath you. Here in the observation car, the sound is slightly different than it would be in the sleeping cars or the dining car. The sound is fuller somehow, more resonant, perhaps because you are at the very end of the train, perhaps because of how the observation car is constructed. The rhythm is the same, that eternal clickety-clack, but the timbre is richer, deeper. Through the overhead glass panels, you can see that the snow is falling more heavily now. The flakes are larger, more visible against the dark sky. They fall onto the glass panels, landing and sticking for a moment before sliding down the slight curve of the glass and disappearing. More flakes land, more slide down, a continuous process that leaves the glass clear enough to see through, but noticeably streaked with the paths of fallen snow. You turn your attention back to the rails stretching behind the train. The tracks run straight for a long distance, then begin to curve. You watch as the curve becomes more pronounced, the rails bending to the right, and the train follows the curve, and you feel the motion change slightly as the observation car swings around the bend. The rails disappear into the darkness of the curve, and you cannot see where they go next, but you know they continue, always continue, leading somewhere or coming from somewhere or both. The hot chocolate in your cup has cooled slightly more. You pick it up again and take a longer drink this time, several swallows. The warmth spreads through you, internal warmth adding to the external warmth of the heated observation car. The chocolate is sweet and comforting, exactly what is needed for a night like this, for a journey like this, for a moment like this. Around you, the observation car's lights flicker very slightly. Not a dramatic flicker, just a tiny variation in the voltage, a momentary dimming and brightening that lasts less than a second. Then the lights are steady again. The train's electrical system is working, compensating, maintaining the comfortable environment of the car. You notice that there is someone else in the observation car now. They must have entered while you were watching the rails, while you were drinking your chocolate. They are sitting several rows ahead of you in another red velvet chair, also facing the windows. You can see the back of their head, their shoulders. They are sitting still, like you, watching the night pass behind the train. They do not turn around. They do not acknowledge your presence. This is how it should be. The observation car is a place for quiet contemplation, for watching, for existing peacefully in the same space without the need for interaction. The snow outside continues its steady fall. Each flake is unique, you know this, though from here they all look the same, just white dots against the darkness. They fall by the millions, by the billions, covering the landscape, covering the tracks, covering everything that exists in the winter night. The train passes through this snow, displacing it temporarily, and then the snow falls behind the train, erasing the train's passage, filling in any disturbance, restoring the smooth white surface. Your breathing is slow and even. You are not thinking about it, not controlling it, just letting it happen. The air in the observation car is comfortable, not too warm, not too cool, just right. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. Your lungs expand and contract, doing their work without requiring any conscious thought or effort from you. The armchair's velvet has warmed to your body temperature. Where you are sitting, where your arms rest, where your back leans, the fabric is warm. The rest of the chair, the parts not in contact with you, remain cool, the temperature of the room. This contrast between warm and cool would be noticeable if you moved, if you shifted to a different position, but you do not move. You are comfortable where you are. Behind the train, the landscape changes. The flat fields give way to a slight rise, a gentle hill. The rails climb the hill, maintaining their parallel relationship, their exact spacing. The train pulls the observation car up the hill. The grade is so slight that you barely feel it, just a tiny increase in the forward effort, a tiny decrease in the swaying motion. Then the train crests the hill, and there is a moment when you can see farther than before, can see more of the snow-covered landscape spreading away on both sides of the tracks. Then the train begins to descend the other side of the hill, and the view closes in again. The music in the observation car changes. The piano fades out, and a cello takes over, playing long, sustained notes that seem to hang in the air. The melody is different but equally slow, equally peaceful. The volume has not changed. It is still barely audible, still more felt than heard, still part of the background rather than the foreground. You close your eyes for a moment. Behind your closed lids, you can still sense the lights of the observation car, a general brightness that tells you where you are even without seeing. You can hear the wheels on the tracks, the music, the quiet hum of the heating system. You can feel the motion of the train, the gentle rocking, the smooth forward progress. All your senses are still engaged, still receiving information, but the information is filtered through the darkness of closed eyes, made more immediate, more visceral. You open your eyes again. The rails are still there, still stretching away behind the train, still disappearing into the distance. The snow is still falling. The other person in the observation car is still sitting in their chair, still watching. Everything is as it was, as it should be, as it will continue to be. The hot chocolate in your cup is nearly gone. You pick up the cup and tilt it to drink the last few sips. The chocolate has cooled to just above room temperature, no longer hot, but still carrying its flavor, still sweet and rich. You drain the cup completely, then set it back on the table. The cup is empty now, a circle of dark residue at the bottom, nothing more. Your hands rest on the arms of the chair again. You notice your fingers, how they lie against the velvet, how they curve slightly, naturally, how they are still and relaxed. Hands are strange things when you look at them closely, familiar and foreign at the same time, tools you have used every day of your life and yet somehow separate from you, following your commands but also existing independently, doing their own small movements, their own tiny adjustments. The train is passing through a wooded area now. You can see trees on both sides of the tracks, their trunks dark, their branches bare, holding up small platforms of accumulated snow. The trees are close to the tracks here, creating a corridor, a tunnel of dark wood and white snow. The rails cut through this tunnel, and the train follows the rails, and you follow the train, watching the trees appear in the light and then vanish back into darkness. The observation car's heating system cycles again. You hear the change in pitch of the hum, the brief increase in fan speed, the rush of warm air from vents you cannot see. The temperature in the car adjusts, maintains itself, keeps you comfortable. The system is automatic, requiring nothing from you, just working in the background, invisible but essential. You shift slightly in your chair. Your weight moves from one side to the other, redistributing, seeking a new point of balance. The chair accepts this new position just as it accepted the old one. The velvet compresses in different places, supports you in a slightly different way. You settle again, still again, comfortable again. Behind the train, the rails emerge from the wooded tunnel. The trees fall away on both sides, and open fields return, wide expanses of white stretching away into darkness. The rails continue their straight path across these fields, unwavering, committed to their direction, taking the train and you with them. The person in the other chair shifts position. You see their head move, tilting to one side, then straightening again. They are still watching the windows, still sitting quietly, still existing in their own private experience of this journey. You wonder what they are thinking, what they are feeling, but you do not wonder very hard. Their thoughts are their own, as yours are your own, and this is as it should be. The snow falling outside seems to have a rhythm, though you know this is impossible. Snow does not fall rhythmically. Each flake falls at its own speed, affected by its own shape and size and the microscopic air currents around it. And yet, watching it, there seems to be a pattern, a cadence to the way the flakes appear in the light, fall through the light, land beyond the light. Perhaps the pattern is not in the snow, but in your perception of it, in the way your brain organizes the random information into something that seems ordered. Your eyelids are growing heavy. This has been true for a while, but now it is more pronounced. The weight of your eyelids is noticeable, a physical sensation, a gentle pressure that suggests they want to close, that keeping them open requires effort. You let them close halfway, not fighting the heaviness, but not surrendering to it completely either. Through your half-closed eyes, the observation car becomes less distinct, more dreamlike, more impressionistic. The rails behind the train catch the light in a particular way. The tops of the rails are polished smooth by the passage of countless wheels, and this smooth surface reflects light better than the rough sides of the rails. So what you see are two bright lines, parallel and perfect, stretching away into the darkness, and everything else is darker, less defined, less certain. The music shifts again. The cello fades, and a guitar enters, acoustic, playing a finger-picked pattern that rises and falls like breathing, like waves, like something organic and alive. The pattern repeats with variations, never exactly the same twice, but always recognizably the same melody, the same progression, the same peaceful mood. You are very relaxed now. Your muscles have released their tension, have let go of whatever they were holding. Your shoulders have dropped, your jaw has loosened, your forehead has smoothed. You are not making any of this happen consciously. Your body is doing it on its own, responding to the environment, to the motion of the train, to the warmth and the dimness and the safety of this space. Outside, a small building appears beside the tracks. It is square and low, perhaps a signal house or a maintenance shed. Its windows are dark. No one is there. The building is just a structure in the night, serving whatever purpose it serves, standing beside the rails as it has stood for years or decades. The train passes it, and it recedes into the distance behind you, growing smaller, darker, less distinct, until it is gone completely, absorbed back into the night. The observation car's windows curve overhead in a smooth arc. Looking up, you can see the snow falling onto these overhead panels, can see the flakes land and begin their slide downward, pulled by gravity, leaving tiny wet trails behind them. The trails crisscross, intersect, create a complex pattern of water on glass that is visible only because of the light, only because of the contrast between the wet glass and the dry glass. Your breathing has become very slow. The pauses between breaths are longer now. You breathe in, slowly, deeply, filling your lungs from bottom to top. Then a pause, a moment of holding, of fullness. Then you breathe out slowly, completely, emptying your lungs from top to bottom. Then another pause, a moment of emptiness, of waiting. Then the cycle begins again. The other person in the observation car stands up. You notice this in your peripheral vision, not looking directly at them, but aware of their movement. They stretch, a slow reaching upward of arms, a slight arching of back. Then they lower their arms and begin to walk toward the front of the car, toward the door that leads to the rest of the train. Their footsteps are soft on the carpeted floor, barely audible. They reach the door, open it, and pass through. The door closes behind them with a soft click. You are alone in the observation car now. The solitude is not lonely. It is peaceful, complete, exactly what this moment requires. The observation car feels larger now, more spacious, more yours. You settle even deeper into your red velvet chair, claiming your place, accepting your aloneness, embracing it. The rails continue to recede behind the train. They have been doing this for hours, will continue doing this for more hours. The train's journey is long, measured in darkness and distance, and the passage of countless miles of track. You do not know how much longer the journey will last. You do not need to know. The journey will end when it ends, and until then, you are here in this chair, in this car, watching the night pass. Outside, the snow is covering everything. The fields are deep in snow now, though you cannot see the depth, only the smooth white surface that suggests depth, that implies accumulation. The trees hold snow on their branches, unlikely sculptures, precarious balances that will last until wind comes or warmth comes or time simply makes them fall. Your head tips back slightly, resting against the high back of the chair. The velvet is soft against your hair, against the back of your skull. Your neck is supported, angled just right, no strain, no discomfort. You are looking up now, through the overhead glass, at the snow falling onto the curved panels, at the dark sky beyond. The train's motion is so smooth, so constant, that it has become part of your baseline perception. You do not notice that you are moving anymore. The motion is simply the way things are, the natural state of existence. It would seem strange to be still, to be stopped, to be anywhere but on this train, in this moment, moving through this winter night. The music continues its quiet flow, instrument to instrument, melody to melody, all of it slow, all of it peaceful, all of it designed for exactly this situation, this environment, this mood. The volume has not changed. It remains barely present, a suggestion of sound more than sound itself. Your eyes close fully now. You do not fight it. The heaviness has won, has pulled your eyelids down, has shut out the visual world. But you are still aware. You can still hear the train, feel the train, sense the train moving beneath you, around you, carrying you forward. You are not asleep, not quite, just resting with closed eyes, existing in the darkness behind your lids. The rails continue to stretch away. The snow continues to fall. The train continues to move. And you rest in your red velvet chair in the observation car at the back of the train, warm and safe and deeply, profoundly at peace, carried through the night, through the winter, through the endless, beautiful darkness that wraps around everything, that holds everything, that keeps everything exactly as it should be. The train moves on through the snow, through the fields, through the small towns sleeping in the darkness, through the woods and the hills and the valleys, and you move with it, resting, nearly sleeping, suspended in that perfect state between awareness and dreams, where everything is soft and warm and gentle and endless. Story 4, The Compartment Window. You are sitting on the edge of your bed. The bed is in a sleeping compartment on a train. The train is moving through the countryside at night. Outside, snow is falling. You have just woken up, or perhaps you never fully fell asleep. The distinction is unclear. You are in that soft space between sleeping and waking, where both states feel equally possible, equally real. The compartment is very small. The bed takes up most of the space. It is a narrow bed built into the wall with storage underneath that you cannot see. There is a small sink that folds down from the opposite wall, currently folded up. There is a mirror above where the sink would be. There is a tiny closet, more of a niche, where your coat hangs. And there is the window. The window is large for such a small space. It takes up most of the wall beside the bed. You are sitting on the bed facing the window, your legs bent, your feet on the thin mattress, your back against the wall at the head of the bed. From this position, you can see out the window perfectly. The glass is cold. You can see your breath fogging it slightly when you breathe toward it. Outside, the snow falls through the darkness. The flakes are illuminated by lights from the train, appearing suddenly as white specks in the darkness, falling through the cone of light, disappearing again into darkness below. Beyond the falling snow, you can see the suggestion of landscape. Dark shapes that might be trees, flat expanses that might be fields. Everything is simplified by the darkness and the snow into basic forms, basic contrasts. The compartment's single light is on, but it is very dim. It is a small reading light attached to the wall above the bed, adjustable, currently angled away from you, pointing toward the door. This creates a soft glow in the compartment, enough to see by, not enough to banish the shadows. The corners remain dark. The space under the bed remains dark. Only the immediate area around you is lit. You are wearing soft clothes, sleeping clothes, loose and comfortable. The fabric is warm against your skin. You pulled these clothes on earlier, before the train departed in preparation for sleeping. But sleep has been elusive or partial or broken into fragments. So now you sit here on the edge of the bed, looking out the window, watching the snow fall. The train rocks gently. The motion is familiar now, though it was strange at first, when the train first began to move. Now your body has adapted to it, expects it, moves with it unconsciously. When the train sways left, you sway left. When it sways right, you sway right. You are part of the train's rhythm, integrated into its motion. Beneath you, beneath the floor, beneath the bed, you can hear the wheels on the tracks. The sound is constant, a low rumbling punctuated by regular clicks. Rumble, rumble, click, rumble, rumble, click, rumble, rumble, click. The rhythm is hypnotic, soothing, like a heartbeat that is not your own but that you can feel in your chest anyway. Your hands rest on your knees. You notice them there, feel the warmth of your palms through the fabric of your sleeping clothes. Your fingers are slightly curved, relaxed. You flex them slightly, then let them relax again. The movement is small, unconscious, just something your body does while you sit here, watching. Outside the window, a light appears in the distance. It is small and yellow, a single point of light in the darkness. As the train moves, the light becomes larger, closer. It might be a window in a house. It might be a street lamp. It might be something else entirely. The train passes the light and you turn your head to keep it in view. The light slides past the window, growing smaller, dimmer, and then it is gone behind the train, lost in the distance. The glass of the window is cold when you touch it. You press your fingertip against it, feeling the coldness transfer into your skin. You leave your finger there for a moment, then pull it away. The warmth of your finger leaves a small print on the glass, a temporary mark that fades quickly as the cold reasserts itself. The snow outside falls at different speeds. Some flakes fall quickly, dropping almost straight down. Others drift more slowly, caught by small currents of air, moving diagonally or even horizontally for brief moments before continuing downward. You watch individual flakes, following them with your eyes as they fall through the light, losing them when they exit the light, finding new ones to follow. Your breathing is quiet and steady. In through your nose, out through your mouth. The air you breathe in is cool, the air from the compartment mixing with the cold air that seems to emanate from the window. The air you breathe out is warm, creating those small clouds of fog on the glass. Breathe in, breathe out. The rhythm matches the rhythm of the train, Or perhaps the train's rhythm matches yours, or perhaps both are independent but happening to coincide. The bed beneath you is made up with white sheets and a dark blanket. The sheets are crisp, freshly laundered. You pulled back the blanket earlier, partially, creating a triangle of exposed sheet. The pillow at the head of the bed is white, covered in a white pillowcase. Everything is clean and simple and carefully arranged by whoever prepared the compartment before you boarded. Outside, the landscape changes. The flat fields give way to a slight incline. The train begins to climb. The change is subtle, barely noticeable, but you can feel it in your body, a slight shift in the angle, a slight change in the quality of the train's motion. The wheels continue their rhythm, but there is more effort in it now, more purpose, the engine pulling the weight of the train up the grade. You shift your position slightly. Your legs were bent. Now you extend them, stretching them out across the bed, your feet reaching toward the far wall of the compartment. The movement feels good, releases tension you didn't know was there. You flex your ankles, point your toes, then relax everything again. Your legs lie flat on the bed, heavy and still. The small reading light above you casts your shadow on the wall opposite the window. The shadow is diffuse, soft-edged, moving slightly with the train's motion. You raise your hand, and the shadow of your hand appears on the wall, larger than your actual hand. You move your fingers, and the shadow fingers move. Then you lower your hand again, and the shadow returns to being just the shadow of your body, sitting on the bed. Through the window, you see a fence post. It stands beside the tracks, dark against the white snow, tilted slightly, perhaps pushed by wind or time or the settling of the earth. The train passes it quickly, and it is gone, replaced by another fence post further along, then another, a series of solitary sentinels marking something, dividing something, defining some boundary that matters to someone somewhere. The train's heating system is working quietly. You cannot see any vents or radiators, but you can feel the warmth they produce, a general warmth that fills the compartment evenly. The temperature is comfortable, not too warm, not too cool. You are warm enough in your sleeping clothes, but not so warm that you feel uncomfortable or sleepy. Just right. Your eyes are tired. They have been open for a long time, watching the snow, watching the darkness, watching the occasional lights and shapes that appear and disappear. The tiredness is not unpleasant, just a gentle heaviness, a suggestion that closing your eyes might be nice. But you do not close them yet. You continue to watch. Outside, the train passes a cluster of buildings. They appear suddenly out of the darkness, 3 or 4 structures close together, perhaps a farm, perhaps a small hamlet. Most of the buildings are dark, but one has a light in a window, warm and yellow. Someone is awake there, you think. Someone is sitting in that lit room, doing something, being alive in the middle of the night. The train passes and the buildings recede, the lit window grows smaller, and then everything is darkness again. The snow has been falling for hours, you realize. When you first got on the train, in the late afternoon, there was no snow. The platforms were dry, the sky was clear. But at some point while you were settling into your compartment, while the train was pulling out of the station, the snow began, and it has not stopped. It has been falling continuously, steadily, covering everything, transforming the landscape into this simplified, monochrome version of itself. You lean forward slightly, moving your face closer to the window. The glass is very cold against your forehead when you rest it there. The cold is sharp, immediate, almost painful, but not quite. You leave your forehead against the glass, accepting the cold, letting it wake you up slightly, sharpen your awareness. Then you lean back again, and your forehead tingles where the cold touched it. The train's motion continues unchanged. Forward, always forward, never stopping, never slowing, just maintaining its steady pace through the night. The rocking continues, side to side, a pendulum motion that never quite comes to rest. You have been feeling this motion for hours now, and it has become so familiar that you barely notice it, except when you think about it deliberately, as you are doing now. Your hands move to your lap. They fold together loosely, fingers interlacing without effort. This is a comfortable position for your hands, natural, requiring no thought. You look down at them, seeing them in the dim light, familiar hands, the same hands you have had your entire life. The lines on your palms are visible, darker lines against the lighter skin. You studied these lines as a child, you remember, wondering what they meant if they meant anything. Outside the window, the snow continues. Each flake is different, supposedly, though you cannot see the differences from here. They all look the same, small white specks falling through darkness. But somewhere in their crystalline structure, in the arrangement of ice molecules, each one is unique. The thought is both comforting and overwhelming. So much complexity, so much uniqueness, all falling from the sky, all landing on the earth, all melting eventually into sameness. The train goes around a curve. You feel the centrifugal force, gentle but noticeable, pushing you slightly toward the window. The view outside changes as the train turns. The angle of the falling snow seems to shift, though of course it is the train that is shifting, not the snow. The rails must be curving around some obstacle, some hill or valley or property line. The curve is gentle, gradual, and soon the train straightens out again and the view returns to its previous orientation. You notice that your mouth is dry. You have been breathing through it, you realize, and this has dried it out. You close your mouth and swallow, moistening your throat. Your tongue moves against your teeth, against the roof of your mouth. You should have brought water with you, you think. But the small sink can produce water if you need it, if the dryness becomes uncomfortable. For now, you just swallow again and let it be. The reading light above you flickers. It is a tiny flicker, barely noticeable, a momentary dimming and brightening that lasts less than a second. The train's electrical system adjusting, compensating for some load or fluctuation. Then the light is steady again, casting its dim glow, creating its soft shadows. Outside, you see what might be a road running parallel to the tracks. It is covered in snow, untouched, no tire tracks visible. The road is just a flat white strip between two lines of dark fence posts or trees. The train and the road run together for a while, train and road side by side through the darkness. Then the road curves away, heading off in a different direction, and the train continues straight. Your back is beginning to feel the position you are in. Not pain, just awareness, a slight stiffness from sitting in one position for too long. You shift again, moving your shoulders, rolling them back, stretching your spine. The movement releases something, some tension, and you settle back against the wall, finding a new position that is comfortable again. The compartment smells neutral. There is no strong scent, no perfume or cleaning product, just the faint smell of clean fabric and the slightly metallic smell of the train itself. The air is neither fresh nor stale. Just air, just what you are breathing. What is keeping you alive in this small enclosed space? Through the window, the falling snow creates a kind of texture in the darkness. The darkness is not uniform, not empty. It is filled with the motion of falling snow, with the suggestion of flakes beyond the ones you can see clearly, layers and layers of snow falling through layers and layers of darkness, creating depth, creating dimension. You become aware of your heartbeat. It is slow, steady, unremarkable. You can feel it if you pay attention, a gentle pulse in your chest, in your wrists, in your throat. Beat, 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 beat. Slower than the train's rhythm, not synchronized with it, but coexisting with it. Two rhythms happening in the same moment, in the same space. The train passes a lone tree. It stands in an open field, stark against the white snow, its branches bare and reaching upward like fingers. Snow has accumulated on the upper sides of the branches, creating white lines against the dark bark. The tree is there for a moment in your field of vision, and then it is past behind the train, lost in the distance and the darkness. Your eyelids feel heavy again. The tiredness returns, gentle and persistent. You blink slowly, deliberately, a long closing and opening of your eyes. When your eyes are closed, the world disappears. When they open again, it returns unchanged. The snow still falls. The train still moves. The night still surrounds everything. Outside, the landscape seems to be opening up. The occasional trees and fences become less frequent. The view becomes more expansive, suggesting larger fields, more space between human-made structures. This is the deep countryside now, far from towns, far from the busy places where people gather. This is the empty space, the agricultural space, the land that exists primarily to produce food, to lie fallow, to wait for spring. The train's whistle sounds. It is distant, coming from the front of the train, carried back to you through the cold night air. The sound is low and long, mournful in the way that train whistles are always mournful. It echoes across the empty fields, announces the train's presence to no one in particular, fulfills its function. Then it fades, absorbed by the snow and the distance. You pull your knees back up, returning to your earlier position, sitting with bent legs, feet on the bed, arms around your knees. This is a contained position, a compact position, as if you are making yourself smaller to fit better in the small space of the compartment. Your chin rests on your knees. You continue to watch the window. The snow outside is mesmerizing. The constant motion of the falling flakes creates a pattern that your eyes try to follow but cannot fully track. Your vision picks up individual flakes, follows them for a moment, loses them, picks up new ones. The process is endless, repetitive, hypnotic. Your eyes begin to lose focus, the individual flakes blurring into a general sense of whiteness in motion. The bed beneath you is firm enough to support you, but soft enough to be comfortable. The mattress is thin, as mattresses on trains are, but it is adequate. You have sat on it for a long time now, and it has compressed slightly under your weight, conforming to you, accepting you. Later, when you lie down to sleep, it will feel different, will support you differently, but for now it is a seat, a place to sit and watch and be. Outside, a light appears on the horizon. It is different from the occasional house lights you have seen. This light is steady, unmoving, and very distant. Perhaps it is a radio tower, its warning lights marking its presence for aircraft. Perhaps it is something else, a lighthouse, though you are not near the sea or a water tower or any of 100 other structures that humans build and light. The train moves, and the light maintains its distance, always on the horizon, never getting closer or further away. Your breathing has slowed even more. The pauses between breaths are long now, extended moments where your lungs are either full or empty, resting between efforts. You are not controlling this, not consciously slowing your breath. Your body is doing it on its own, responding to your relaxed state, your lack of physical exertion, your stillness. The compartment's walls are covered in some kind of paneling. It might be wood, or it might be laminate made to look like wood. In the dim light, it is hard to tell. The paneling has a grain pattern, lines running vertically, creating a subtle texture. You trace these lines with your eyes, following them from floor to ceiling, noting where they meet at corners, where they are interrupted by the window frame, by the door frame. Outside, the snow shows no sign of stopping. It has been falling continuously since it started, and it seems it will fall continuously forever, or at least for the rest of the night, for the rest of the journey. The ground is deep in snow now. You can tell by how the fence posts are half buried, how the shapes of things are softened and rounded by the accumulation. You unclasp your hands and reach up to touch the window again. The glass is still cold, perhaps even colder now. You place your whole palm against it, feeling the cold seep into your hand. Your handprint appears on the glass, outlined in the slight fog created by the warmth of your skin against the cold surface. You pull your hand away and look at the handprint. It fades slowly, the edges dissipating first, then the center, until the glass is clear again. The train's rhythm continues beneath you, around you, through you. The wheels on the rails, the swaying of the car, the forward motion through space. All of it combines into a single sensation, the sensation of traveling, of being in transit, of existing in motion rather than in stillness. Your head feels heavy. It wants to rest against something. You lean it against the wall beside you. The wall is cool, not as cold as the window, but cooler than your skin. Your head rests there comfortably, tilted at an angle, still allowing you to see out the window. This is a sustainable position, you think. You could stay like this for a long time. Outside, another cluster of buildings appears. This one is larger than the last, perhaps a small town. There are more lights here, several windows glowing yellow in the darkness, a street lamp or two, the suggestion of streets and houses and human habitation. The train skirts the edge of the town, not entering it, not stopping, just passing by at its steady pace. The lights slide past the window, one by one, and then the town is behind the train and the darkness returns. Your eyes are very heavy now. The tiredness is no longer just a suggestion, but a presence, a weight on your eyelids, a pull toward closing them. You resist, wanting to watch the snow a little longer, wanting to see what else might appear in the darkness. But the resistance is weak, token, a formality more than a genuine effort. The snow falls. The train moves. The night continues. These three facts are all you need to know, all that matters in this moment. Everything else is distant, irrelevant, belonging to another time, another place. Here now there is only this, the small compartment, the cold window, the falling snow, the moving train. You let your eyes close halfway. Through your half-closed eyes, the view becomes less distinct, less detailed. The falling snow becomes a blur of motion, the darkness becomes deeper, the lights that occasionally appear become softer, hazier. This is easier to watch, requires less effort, less focus. Your body is completely relaxed now. Every muscle has released its tension, has let go of whatever it was holding. You are supported by the bed, by the wall, by the structure of the compartment around you. You do not need to hold yourself up, hold yourself together. You can simply be, simply exist, simply sit here and watch and breathe and be alive in this moment. Outside, the snow continues to fall. It has fallen for hours. It will fall for more hours. It is the constant in this journey, the reliable element, the thing that does not change even as everything else changes. The landscape changes, the lights come and go, the train moves forward, but the snow falls on and on and on. Your breathing is barely perceptible now, shallow and slow, just enough to sustain you, nothing more. Your chest rises and falls in tiny movements, barely disturbing the fabric of your sleeping clothes. You are like a person in hibernation, conserved, minimal, existing at the lowest energy state possible while remaining conscious. The train rocks. You rock with it. The motion is everything now, the defining characteristic of existence. To be on the train is to rock, to sway, to move perpetually forward while moving perpetually side to side. This is the nature of train travel, the essence of it, the thing that makes it different from all other forms of movement. Your eyes close fully. You do not open them again. Behind your closed lids, you can still sense the light from the reading lamp, can still feel the motion of the train, can still hear the wheels on the rails. You are not asleep, not yet, just resting with closed eyes, existing in the darkness, being carried forward through the night, through the snow, through the endless winter landscape that surrounds the train on all sides. The snow falls on the window, on the roof of the train, on the countryside around you. The flakes accumulate, layer upon layer, building depth, building substance, covering everything in white. And you rest in your small compartment, on your narrow bed, warm and safe and profoundly at peace, carried forward through the night by the train that never stops, that moves on and on through the snow, through the darkness, through the deep winter night that seems to have no end.